and in his first interview since the auction closed, we welcome in one of the co-founders of Cent, Cameron Hejazi. It's great to have you here, sir.
Yeah, really excited to be here. Thank you.
Were you just shocked by the momentum that this whole auction took on? Because, to be frank, I mean, the tweet's been out there, since the beginning of Twitter, and it's been online. What makes it so special and so valuable? Because I think a lot of people watching don't quite get the whole attraction here of a tweet and owning it for 2.9 million.
Absolutely. I mean, every day moments are created on Twitter that are talked about throughout the world. And I think that there's just incredible inherent value there. And so for the first tweet, the tweet that really started it all, I think it's just an incredible opportunity for someone who wants to associate themselves with a truly transformative piece of history. And so my congratulations goes out to Cena, the winning bidder. It's truly incredible.
Do you think that this is going to lead to other notable tweets being sold in this fashion? Because, the doubter in me says, okay, this is a bubble. This is just, 2000 all over again in the tech bubble, and people are just kind of chasing whatever they can. Another part of me says that who knew that Bitcoin and Tesla were going to be the hottest things we'd talk about in 2021?
Totally. I mean, traditionally, content has always been free on these networks, but I think a large portion of that is you look at how ad models work, and that's the predominant way of valuing things. And what we're seeing is that fans actually ascribe value to things on their own basis, and this is just the start of that. So I think Jack did a great thing by donating the proceeds to charity, and I would encourage other notable figures to follow a similar pattern. I think a lot of people might not need the money. Granted, there are people that would need the money as well. And so I want us to make this technology that can kind of work for anyone in any case and bring people together ultimately.
I want to give our viewers a couple of examples of this because I think a lot of folks are thinking, what the heck is an NFT? And that was my initial reaction. But like from Elon Musk, okay, this tweet from October of 2019, someone offered $2,000 for an Elon Musk tweet. I don't know if we have it. And then there's Mark Cuban. There's a picture of him with Warren Buffett at a Dairy Queen. Somebody offered $220. So there's thousands being offered. There's hundreds of dollars being offered. Do you think that this is the next charity wave? There's the Mark Cuban, Warren Buffett tweet. And I guess it's because it's rare, right? I get a digital signature from the owner, say Mark Cuban, so that makes it special?
Totally. I mean, collectibles aren't a new thing. I think what is new is bringing collectibles to digital moments, right? And so, Mark Cuban or whoever, I'm sure that, they're going to put the money to good use, whether it's investing or giving it to charity. But I think the point is a lot of people are involved in these moments that are happening real time, and these moments have value. And so to be able to get an autograph from Mark Cuban is definitely a special moment for a lot of people.
Yeah. And, it's interesting, too, because, again, Jack Dorsey took the payment. It's going to be in Bitcoin. Does everybody have to take Bitcoin for this? Can it be cash?
So actually, right now, we're using Ethereum, which is like sort of Bitcoin's big competitor. And that's because the whole platform runs on smart contracts, which is a whole new technology that is going to disrupt a lot of how tech works, frankly.
Right.
And I think over time, we want to make it so that we can accept other currencies like Bitcoin, but also U.S. dollars and credit cards and more traditional payment methods.
Well, the reason I asked because I've got Jerome Powell on my mind because he actually spoke specifically about Bitcoin today, and he was pretty cautious, which I guess you could imagine. But I want you to listen to what he said when asked about how this could work if we were to have digital currencies as part of the Federal Reserve.
So we're collaborating with MIT on a multi-year effort to build a hypothetical digital currency for central bank use. The bottom line is to move forward on this, we would need buy-in from Congress, from the administration, from broad elements of the public. So when we haven't really begun the job of that public engagement. So,
and I want to add here, he also said that cryptocurrencies are not really useful stores of value. Your reaction?
Look, our big thing as a company is helping creators get paid, whether that creator is a public figure or an artist. And cryptocurrency is the easiest way for us to do it at this point. There's a lot of regulatory compliance work that goes into accepting and transacting in USD, and we definitely want to take that on. We're not diehard believers in crypto for payment, but NFTs and the technology that they rely on is fundamentally a blockchain native technology. And so we definitely are believers in that long term.
It is fascinating what's happened with this Jack Dorsey tweet, and I'm curious about the next tweet that we're going to be talking about. I'm sure I'll be doing that on air. Cameron Hejazi. Cameron, thank you very much. Great day for you. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.